This is your USMNT Abroad weekend update from April 4th to April 6th of 2025. Hello. If you're new here, I'm Filippo, and welcome to Tactical Manager TV. And welcome to the US Men's National Team Abroad series, where every single Monday we update you on how the Yanks did abroad over the weekend. Now, before we start this episode, there are two things that I want to say. One, this weekend was a lot better than the previous weekend, so that's a positive. Now, two, I know this is a very low moment for the U.S. men's national team fan base. Excitement is very low after the Copa America, some mediocre friendlies, and then obviously the Nations League, which was another ultimate embarrassment for this USMNT generation. However, keep this in mind. We are roughly 1 year away from the biggest World Cup in U.S. men's national team history. And even though this generation has been bums lately or just complete shit, this still is the most talented generation we've ever had. Now, they have to prove it, but my overall point here is we should start bringing the excitement back. Let's believe. I know they haven't been giving us a reason to believe, but let's believe something special could still happen. And hopefully Pochettino starts to actually do work. With that said, don't forget to drop a like in this video if you haven't already. Try to help us hit 1,000 likes. Do that right now. Everyone that doesn't hit the like button is a loser. Don't be a loser. As always, we start with the top 5 leagues in Europe, the first one being the English Premier League. So let's go to England and talk about Chris Richards and Matt Turner from Crystal Palace. And on Saturday, Chris Richards was actually not available due to a thigh injury. He's expected to be back this month, but it could take a few weeks. As for Matt Turner, well, you know, he stayed on the bench the full 90 minutes for Crystal Palace during their 2-1 win over Brighton. Next up is Tyler Adams from Bournemouth. And on Saturday, Tyler started and played the full 90 minutes for Bournemouth during their 2-2 draw with West Ham. So last week, Tyler Adams was very bad. He was unusually bad. It's rare for him to have bad performances, but last week it was a stinker. Now for this game, it was definitely no masterclass, but he was actually good. He had a rock-solid performance. Tyler was not at fault for any of the goals they conceded. I actually don't remember him making any major mistakes or even making any relevant mistakes. He was very good defensively, and he played his role in possession throughout the match. My point is, Tyler was very good. It's just one of those performances where you don't really stand out. People don't talk about it very much, but he was good. The funny thing about Bournemouth is in June, we're going to be playing in the TST, the $1 million tournament, right? We're going to have Tactical Manager Soccer Club. The roster will be announced very soon. And Bournemouth is also in that tournament. You guys are not going to want to miss this. Next up is Anthony Robinson from Fulham. And on Sunday, A-Rob started and played the full 90 minutes for Fulham during their 3-2 win over Liverpool. And this is a massive win for Fulham. I mean, they defeated Liverpool, which is the best team in the Premier League this season. As for A-Rob, he played a much more defensive role, and he was rock solid on defense for most of the game, right? While facing players like Musah, for example. On offense, he didn't offer too much. He had 1 or 2 good moments, but mainly it was a good defensive performance from A-Rob, and he helped Fulham get the 3-2 win. On top of that, the 2 goals that they conceded were 100% not on A-Rob. Okay, time to go to Italy and talk about the Americans in the Serie A. The first 2 being Christian Pulisic and Yunus Musah from Milan. And on Saturday, Christian Pulisic and Yunus Musah both started for Milan during their 2-2 draw with Fiorentina. Pulisic played 80 minutes and Musah played just 23, and he was not subbed out due to an injury. So let's talk about Yunus Musah, because I've seen many stinkers throughout my life. Small ones, big ones. Some of them were so big you wouldn't even believe me. But Yunus Musah said, "Hold my laxatives," and he dropped the biggest stinker since the release of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Okay, so he played mainly as a right midfielder. Sometimes he would drop very deep as a right back, and sometimes he would be high up the field looking like a right winger, but it was mainly like a right midfielder in my opinion. And Fiorentina's first goal happened due to a bizarre Musah giveaway. I don't even know how to explain it. Go watch it yourself. On top of that, he couldn't really defend. On the second goal, he provided mediocre defense down the right side, which obviously led to Fiorentina scoring. He was a liability on defense, he was a liability in possession, and I mean, he got subbed out 25 minutes into the game. That says it all. A few weeks ago, he also started and was subbed out around the 37th minute against Lazio due to another stinker. But that was a smaller stinker. This one was bigger. This one was worse. This one was bad. I just don't know why Milan keeps starting Yunus Musah. And this really ain't his level. It feels like he has stagnated for like 3 to 4 years, maybe even regressed a little bit. He should probably seek a loan this summer to a lesser club, and honestly, even a lesser league. Just think about Musah from 2022 and Musah now. It does kind of feel like he regressed, but just my opinion. Now let's talk about Christian Pulisic, because he was actually quite good. Pulisic was very dangerous throughout the game. He was playing tucked inside until Musah got subbed out. Then Pulisic became a right winger. He assisted Tammy Abraham in the first half with a nice slip pass to him on a great combination play. But not just that, Christian Pulisic could have easily had another assist or two in the second half if Santi Gimenez was good, which he absolutely is not. Pulisic also almost scored from close range, but David De Gea made a massive save, a tremendous save. Sure, Pulisic maybe could have done better with that finish, but at the same time, it was simply an incredible save from David De Gea. He probably also should have played the full 90 minutes, but Pulisic was subbed out in the last 10 minutes. It wasn't just a very good performance from Christian Pulisic, it was a great performance. He was Milan's best player or second or third best player throughout this game, and he could have easily ended the game with 2 to 3 goal contributions if he had a little bit of luck or more competent teammates. So he only got 1 goal contribution, and we'll take it. Now, one thing must be said, Milan most certainly won't play in the Champions League next season. They might not even play any continental competition next year unless they win the Coppa Italia. That sucks because we want Pulisic playing the Champions League, but the good thing is he'll probably be well rested for the 2026 World Cup. You know, just less games in the season to play. Glass half full. Next up, we have Weston McKennie and Tim Weah from Juventus. And on Sunday, McKennie and Weah both started for Juve during their 1-1 draw with Roma. Weston McKennie played the full 90 minutes as a right wingback, even though in possession he looked more like a right winger, and it wasn't until the last 15 minutes that they moved him into the midfield. I thought Weston McKennie had a positive performance. He was nothing great, but above average. He almost scored a goal, he looked competent on the ball, and very good on defense. Just a very reliable and versatile game from Weston McKennie once again. As for Tim Weah, he played 68 minutes and he was actually quite good in the first half. He looked dangerous on the ball multiple times. He almost scored an early goal from a long-range shot that was saved by the goalkeeper. He almost got an assist off a cross. He was really good playing as a left wingback, but in the second half, I thought he was kind of poor or meh at best, which is probably why he got subbed out early. Last but not least, in Italy, we have Gianluca Busio from Venezia. And on Sunday, Busio started and played the full 90 minutes for Venezia during their 1-1 draw with Lecce. Busio created the most chances out of all players in this game with a total of 4. But he had an expected assist of only 0.07, which means most of his chances that were created were low probability goal scoring opportunities. Not very high quality goal scoring opportunities. That's probably the best way to put it. Now, before we continue, a quick word from the sponsor of this video. While the ad plays, feel free to go to the bathroom or don't watch the ad. You probably should. Link to play So Rare will be in the description of this video. And if you go to the bathroom, wash your hands, please. Do you collect sports cards? Do you play fantasy sports? Yes, no, maybe. If you said yes to any of that, I got something for you. And if you said no, you might still want to stick around. Tactical Manager TV is partnering up with So Rare with a special offer. The link will be in the description. In So Rare, you can collect your own virtual cards of your favorite players. And then you may be asking, why would I want to collect virtual cards? Well, you can line them up on 5-a-side games every single week. And if your players perform in real life, you can win actual money, signed jerseys, game tickets, or even more cards to improve your own club. And you can also get unique experiences like a friend of the channel, Fiago, that got to meet Zinedine Zidane. You know what's also cool? They also have the NBA and Major League Baseball. I'm mainly gonna just stick to soccer, but you do you. What I really like about So Rare, before we even partnered with them, is that they're unlike other fantasy games where you have to pay per play. In So Rare, you pay to get the players you want permanently as cards. And then you can play multiple times using those same cards, at least until the player retires, win rewards if your players perform in real life. You can also buy undervalued player cards for cheap, then hold, use them in the future when they improve or develop, and then you can even sell that card when its value goes up for better ones. Or just keep the money yourself. And if you use the link in the description of this video, you will get $50 in credit after buying your first 5 cards through auctions or instant buy at any prices. Play with responsibility. All right, enjoy. Now we're gonna go to Germany and talk about the Americans in the Bundesliga. But before we do that, you're gonna smash the like button if you haven't already in this video. And thank you very much for that. So why don't we start with Gio Reyna from Borussia Dortmund. And you know, Borussia Dortmund was up like 4-0 with 15 minutes left in the game this weekend. And Gio Reyna didn't play at all, not a single minute. I don't know if I should just start ignoring Gio until he finds a new club. I mean, he'll get a move this summer. There's no way he stays with Dortmund, right? All right, next up we have Joe Scally from Borussia Mönchengladbach. And on Sunday, Scally started and played the full 90 minutes for Gladbach during their 1-1 draw with St. Pauli. So Joe Scally is in fact not injured. That is an update that I owed y'all from last weekend. So Kevin Paredes from Wolfsburg, he stayed on the bench the full 90 minutes for them once again this weekend. It was his second game back from injury, so it makes sense. The other American, Noah Kai Banks, on Friday, he stayed on the bench the full 90 minutes during Augsburg's 3-1 loss to Bayern. But one of their center backs got a red card, so maybe next weekend, Noah Kai Banks gets a few minutes. Next up, or actually last but not least in Germany, we have John Token from Holstein Q and Leonard Maloney from Mainz. And on Saturday, John Token started and played 75 minutes for Holstein Q during their 1-1 draw with Mainz. As for Leonard Maloney, he stayed on the bench the full 90 minutes for Mainz. Just one thing here, it looks like Holstein Q will get relegated, so I don't really know what John Token's going to do about that. He might be playing the German 2nd division next season. Okay, time to go to Spain and talk about the one American that plays in La Liga, and his name is Johnny Cardoso, and he plays for Real Betis. And on Saturday, Johnny started and played 79 minutes for Betis during their 1-1 draw with Barcelona away. This is a massive result for Real Betis, or this was a massive result for them. I don't really know how Johnny did because I was watching Milan during that same time, and I will not comment on performances that I didn't really watch. But I mean, it was a 1-1 draw with Barcelona away. He played 79 minutes. He couldn't have done bad. He probably did fine. Now we're going to go to France and talk about the Americans in Ligue 1. The first one being Floating Balogun from Monaco. And on Saturday, Balogun started off the bench and was subbed in the 86th minute for Monaco during their 2-1 loss to Brest in Ligue 1. He had one moment in transition that was kinda dangerous, but it was a poor through ball from his teammate and the finish just got blocked. Outside of that, nothing else happened, and he got like 4 touches. Next up, we have Mark McKenzie from Toulouse. And on Sunday, the American center back Mark McKenzie started and played the full 90 minutes for Toulouse during their 3-2 loss to Olympique Marseille. So they have conceded 9 goals over the past 3 games, which Mark McKenzie is a center back, and that's not a good look. Last but not least in France, we have Tenor Tessman from Lyon. And on Saturday, Tenor Tessman started and played the full 90 minutes for Lyon during their 2-1 win over Lille. When Matic was on the field, he was far more involved in possession, which is kind of funny because Matic only played 68 minutes and he still had more touches on the ball than Tenor Tessman that played with him in the double pivot. Regardless, it's good to see Tenor Tessman play consistently for Lyon's midfield. But I'll continue the agenda that Tenor Tessman is a center back and not a midfielder. Okay, time to go to the Netherlands and talk about the Americans in the Eredivisie. The first ones being the PSV boys, and that is Malik Tillman, Serginho Dest, and Richie Ledesma. No Ricardo Pepi because he's still recovering from a knee injury. And on Saturday, Malik Tillman was back in the starting 11 for PSV, and he played the full 90 minutes during their 3-1 win over Groningen. Tillman also scored a beautiful goal, a nice curled shot from the edge of the box. This is his second game back ever since he came back from injury, so it's good to see him play the full 90 minutes and scoring once again in the Eredivisie. And as I said this multiple times throughout the season, he should probably move to a top 5 league during this summer. As for Richie Ledesma, he started and played 67 minutes and got an assist for PSV, while Serginho Dest was not available due to a muscle discomfort. It's unclear if he will miss any of the further games that they have, the one next week or after that. I guess we're going to find out next week the extent of this injury. And understand that he just got back from a torn ACL, so his body is getting adjusted to the game once again. These little muscle discomforts and muscle injuries will happen for the next few months, but he should be fine long term. The last player we talk about in the Eredivisie is Paxton Aronson from Utrecht. And on Sunday, Paxton started and played the full 90 minutes for Utrecht during their 2-2 draw with the almighty go-ahead Eagles. Paxton got an assist this game, but it was more of an assist, right? He kind of did a 1-2 in the midfield with his teammate, and then his teammate ran 20 to 30 yards and scored from long range. It still counts as an assist, and don't hate me for this. I'm just giving you the context of what happened. Not every assist is the same. There was a 1-2 in the midfield, and his teammate did everything else. But it still counts, and Paxton did get an assist. Time to go back to England and talk about the Americans in the EFL Championship, the second division of England. But before we do that, once again, don't forget to smash the like button if you made it this far in the video. Thank you very much. So why don't we start with Josh Sargent from Norwich. And on Saturday, Sargent started and played the full 90 minutes for Norwich during their 2-1 loss to Plymouth. Sargent scored once again, and it was a beautiful goal. It was a beautiful left-footed strike. A wonderful goal. No further comments because Sargent is starting to piss me off. Next up, we have Brenden Aaronson from Leeds. And on Saturday, Aaronson started off the bench and was subbed in the 79th minute for Leeds during their 1-1 draw with Luton. Was he benched? Was he rested? I don't know. Let's wait and see what happens next weekend and draw a conclusion. But it might be that Nyoto took his spot. Now, in case you're wondering why Sargent is pissing me off, well, he scores every freaking game for Norwich, but he can't score for the US men's national team over the past how many years? Whatever. Next up, we have Haji Wright from Coventry. And on Saturday, Haji Wright started and played the full 90 minutes for Coventry during their 2-1 loss to Burnley. Haji scored a scrappy goal for Coventry. It was the rebound of another rebound that hit the post from very close range. He was in the right place at the right time, and he scored. A goal is a goal. And this was the 11th goal from Haji Wright in the EFL Championship this season with 1,400 minutes played. That is a goal every 130 minutes. Next up, we have Ethan Horvath from Cardiff. And on Saturday, Horvath started and played the full 90 minutes for Cardiff during their 0-0 draw with Queen Park Rangers. Horvath actually was the man of the match, making 4 saves, holding a clean sheet with a 0.9 XG on target against him, which is good. It means he was expected to pretty much concede a goal, but he didn't. Next, we have Aidan Morris from Middlesbrough. And on Friday, Aidan Morris started and played the full 90 minutes for Middlesbrough during their 2-0 win over Blackburn. Aidan was the most fouled player in this match. He won most of his 50-50 duels. He won actually 14 out of 21, which is quite impressive. And the dude also had 14 defensive actions. Last but not least in England, we have Caleb Wiley from Watford. And on Saturday, the young American left back Wiley started for his second consecutive game and played 79 minutes for Watford during their 2-1 loss to Bristol City. Now we're going to quickly go up north to Scotland and talk about the Americans that play for Celtic. Cameron Carter-Vickers and Austin Trusty. And on Sunday, Carter-Vickers and Trusty both started and played the full 90 minutes for Celtic during their 1-0 loss to St. Johnstone. Alright everyone, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like before you go. And on Thursday, we have an interview with the USL League One president to talk about Pro Rel in USL. How is it going to work? Any news, updates from a guy that is working with everyone very closely. I mean, he's the president of one of the leagues that will be within the promotion relegation of USL. I want to thank you all very much for watching and have a great day.